Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Barra and I am a health and wellness professional who helps people that suffer with morbid obesity. I help people with behavior change and the modifications needed for them to be healthy and happy individuals. So today I want to talk about confidence. Confidence is a feeling of self-assurance from one's own abilities and qualities. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about my own learning of confidence. So as a kid, I feel like looking back, I've always been very driven. I've always wanted to do more. So I've always had that instilled in me as well. And I think where I faltered is going by what other people said. So if I had an idea and someone said, well, that won't work, I would say, oh, well, I guess they're right. It doesn't work. And so it hindered my confidence as a young adult. And now I am 41 years old. So I know that I have only so much time to do the things that I've always really wanted to do and the things that I've dreamed of. And so I think with maturity, my confidence has definitely grown. But I've learned a lot. So I think that I was a driven individual and I still am. But I think where I lacked was I cared too much what people thought. And I didn't go with my own gut feeling. And I didn't go with my own drive that would get me to where I needed to be. And so when I was young and deciding what I wanted to do in my life, graduating from high school, my parents always said you have to continue, you have to get a 2-year degree or 4-year degree, you have to get something. And I knew that. So I ended up going to school and majoring in health information management because I knew that I wanted to work in the medical field. And I did this profession for approximately 5 years, and I absolutely hated it. Like, I know there's some of you who can get what I'm saying. I could get up every day, and this was in my 20s, and I would just dread going to work because I just hated what I was doing. I felt like I wasn't making a difference. And for some individuals, that's their passion, health information management, and they do feel like they're making a difference. And so I'm not saying that that's not a great profession, because it is. We need those people. I just felt like this is not for me. And so I decided I'm going to go back to college and major in something that I'm really passionate about. And so I started in dietetics, and then I figured out along the way that I really didn't want to tell people what to eat and what not to eat. And I could have done so much with a dietetics degree, but I decided that with other factors that I took into consideration, that I was going to really focus in on wellness. And so while I was in college, I also got my certification to be a lifestyle coach, and I also did a personal trainer certification. And it was probably the hardest thing in my life at that time. I didn't have children, so that was a blessing at the time, but I was married. And I had support of my husband. And there were times where I had to take a plane by myself and go to these conferences and do these certifications while I was a full-time student. So it was very hard. But again, I had the drive and I knew that this was something that I wanted to pursue. And so then I did what I needed to do, and I kept going. And then once I was graduate from a 4-year degree, I went on to working with a children's weight loss program at a medical facility, and I absolutely loved it. But at the time, there wasn't a full-time position available, and that's what I was looking for. And so life took me on a journey, and I stayed in the health and wellness field until I started thinking about the fact that I needed to make more money. I wanted to make more money, and that's all I kept thinking about was money. And what happened was I was faced with the most horrible just jobs that I absolutely hated. I even tried accounting. I am not good with numbers, but I was just thinking of number signs. And then I went into marketing, and I thought, this is good. I really love this. And so what happened was one day, and I'm telling you this because I feel like it was also a sign from God telling me, you're going in the wrong direction. This is the direction I had planned for you. I received a call from a mentor of mine in college. And this is the mentor that I've always wanted to. I wanted to do what she did. I wanted to be a lifestyle coach and a behavior modification educator, just helping people just be their better self, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I received a call from her. And I hadn't spoken with her in probably 8 years. And she found me and she said, I want you to take my position because I'm leaving. Well, lo and behold, it was a part-time job and I needed full-time with benefits because at the time I had one child and I was married and I was working in a spa as a marketing director. Loved my job. Who wouldn't? But I started thinking, what if this is a sign? So I ended up praying about it. And about a year later, I received a call from someone who I also look as a mentor. And she was working at the medical facility that the previous mentor was working at, but had retired. And they had found somebody to fill that part-time position. Well, the position became full-time. So this other mentor of mine, and she called and said, it's a full-time position. Would you still be interested? This position is meant for you because I've worked with you in the past and I know how passionate you are about this. And I said to myself, that's it. That's it. It's my duty and my responsibility to leave where I'm at and do what God wants me to do. And at the time I was 8-9 months pregnant, about to have a baby, scheduled C-section. So I took a leap of faith and I walked into my manager's office and said, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. I need to go and work and do the things that I always wanted to do. And that was to work with people who were suffering with weight issues, mental health issues, and so much more. So I'm sharing this with you because that was my sign, and I hope that you have a sign one day. If you've always wanted to be more confident in yourself, in your business, with others, whatever it may be, to just do it. Just go for it. And I know it's easier said than done because we face so many things. But I overcame. I still had the drive, but I overcame. And I think the one thing that I have learned through this journey of what I call life, because the forever is not here. The forever is somewhere else. But we have to make a difference right now in this thing we call life. And I think where I also went wrong, and not I think, I know, is that at one point in my journey, I was only focused on money. Money is it's just tangible. You can't take it with you. And I always tell my clients, no one, people can take your kids away, they can take your house away, they can take everything you own away, but they can't take your education, knowledge, confidence, drive, motivation. They can't take that away. They can judge you, they can put you down, but you can overcome. It's just up to you and your choices that you make. So with that being said, I wanted to share that personal story. I want you to work on three things that can help build your confidence. And the first one is, I have them written down. I think the first one is low self-esteem. Work on your self-esteem. And to work on that is to overcome those negative thoughts in your head. And sometimes those negative thoughts come from maybe things you've learned from your people who you really love. For me, I had wonderful parents. My parents are married, and they still are after, I think it's 30, 40 years, I'm not sure. So my parents always taught me to do better. And sometimes, and I think it was just out of the kindness of their heart and wanting better for their kid, is that there was some negativity. I would say, oh, I want to do this, and it was always, you always doing this. You never set your mind to this. And then, you can't do that. You'll never make enough money. That was some things that I was told, and I would let that make my decision. And I'd be like, yeah, I guess you're right. Because it was someone I looked up to. Friends, family. It's people you look up to. Maybe your spouse even. And so I thought, well, yeah, maybe you're right. And I never pursued. And so low self-worth, that's what happens. And then our confidence just does boom. Okay? Another thing that I want you to work on is overcoming fear. Overcoming failure and fear. Fear of failure. We're all going to fail. No one's perfect. We're all going to fail. Guess what? We have to learn from that failure. And we have to keep going. And it's so hard. There's plenty of times that I failed. I bombed tests in college. There's plenty of times I bombed interviews and I really wanted these jobs. But you know what? You learn. You learn from that. Where can I do better? Where can I do better? And if you don't try, how do you know what could have been? So don't let fear or failure get the best of you and let that be your downfall or something that prevents you from not going forward. Because again, fear and failure does this. And so you started up here, then your low self-worth went down here, and then fearing and failure go here, all right? And then the third one I want you to work on is other people's opinion of you. Other people's opinion of you. We are all sinners, and we are all judging. And that is the sin of judgment. We are not here to judge. So we have to remember that. And I myself judge. And I have to remember that I am not here to judge. I am here to help, to be kind, and to be the person that God wants me to be. So other people's opinion of you, you've got to say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore what you think of me, because this is my life and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep going because this is what I believe in. This is my dream. This is my desire. You're not going to stop me. And again, some of those people are your parents, your friends, your spouse, someone that you really care about that is judging you and saying, you can't do that. Oh, you did that wrong. You did that wrong. You shouldn't be doing it that way. It's just a part of people and our judging, and it's just something that we have to get over. Just get over it. And so those are the three things that I want you to start working on to help build your confidence. I want you to start working on self-worth and thinking positive. Many books have helped me with this. Some of my favorite self-help books are written by John Maxwell, Rachel Hollis, Matthew Kelly. It doesn't matter who you choose. Everybody has their own beliefs. I also listen to YouTube videos and things of that nature. A second thing I want you to work on is overcoming fear. Who cares if you fail? And that's one of the things that I've always instilled in my daughter, who is now 11, and my son, who I am going to start working on with this because he starts school this year, and he's 5. who cares if you fail? And I know it's hard because we're judged all the time, right? All the time. But who cares if you fail? Have fun with it and keep going. And if this is something you really want in life and you feel like, I need to work harder, then you probably do. You probably need to work harder because you might not be working hard enough. So learn from it. Number 3 is get over people's opinions. If you don't ask for it, then let them give you their opinion all day, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're not walking in your life. They're not who you are. So get over it. Let it go and stop dwelling on, but she said I couldn't do this. Oh, she thinks I'm just not pretty enough. She thinks that I'm not good enough. You know what? There's always somebody better. In anything you do, there's somebody better. So tell yourself that. There's somebody better. I'm going to do my best. And that's another thing I instill in my kids. Do your very best. Be passionate and love what you do. But there's always somebody better. There's always. And they're always going to judge. That's just life. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you know deep in your heart what you love, what you want to do with your life. So go for it and do what it takes to get there. And so I hope this helps. I hope I've given you some motivation. The takeaway from this is the stronger emotion will always win. Whether that be positive or negative, the stronger emotion will always win. So I hope you guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.